The sun slides below the square horizon. Light fades in blocks, orange, then a soft purple, then the blue of evening. You stand at the edge of your world and watch the colors collapse into shadow. The first torches click on in the distance. The first villagers vanish behind wooden doors. The first creatures whisper into the dark and then fall silent. If you have played Minecraft alone in the night, you know the feeling I am talking about. It is not fear. It is not simple suspense. It is something quieter and more complicated. A hollow calm that sits in your chest like a second small room. A feeling that the world has gone still not because of danger, but because it is waiting. Tonight, we will wander that waiting together. We will ask a single question and follow its echoes. Why does the night in Minecraft feel so empty? Listen, not with your eyes. With your small internal ear that notices spaces between sounds. When the world dims, a pattern emerges. There are the ambient loops, wind, a soft insect-like chirp, a distant click of water. And then there are the thin gaps, the micro-silences nestled between those sounds. They are tiny islands of nothing. They are the first layer of emptiness. Sound designers call these gaps negative space. Photographers, painters, and architects use the same trick. Leave an area unadorned and the eye will lean toward it. Leave a sliver of silence and the mind will lean into it, too. It begins to imagine. Your brain supplies 100 soft possibilities. A footstep far behind you, a voice swallowed by the tunnel, a movement that stops when you turn. That imagining is the first reason the night feels empty. Silence creates meaning by absence. Now imagine a village at dusk. Torches sputter. Roofs huddle together. You see small squares of light in windows and think of warmth. The villagers shuffle inside. Their routines are brief and simple. They close hatches, they light furnaces. They stand behind half-height doors. Then the town quiets. You are left outside. Most modern games treat their worlds like stage sets designed for the player. Non-player characters react, dialogue triggers, dynamic events happen around you. Minecraft does something different. It lets things happen regardless of your presence. Villagers follow their small rituals whether you watch or not. Crops grow and wither on a schedule that does not depend on your attention. The world moves with or without you. That indifference reads like loneliness. You can be standing in the village square and still feel unnecessary. A single awake mind in a town of sleeping bodies. There is a strangeness to being the only thing awake. It amplifies your own awareness. You notice the architecture more. You notice the empty benches, the still animals, the way light pools and refuses to spread. This is the second layer of emptiness. The world that carries on without you, and thus makes you feel small inside it. There is also history embedded in the game's files. Minecraft is not a single moment frozen in code. It is a palimpsest. Each update, each patch, each abandoned experimental branch leaves traces. Old ambient loops that are never used again. Lighting variables that no longer change. Bits of code that were once active, now inert. These relics do not take up much space, but they do take up presence. Think of a room in an old house that keeps wallpaper from every era. There is an overlap of decades, a pattern from the 70s here, a strip from the 40s there. When you stand in that room, you feel the history in the layers. You feel time pressing through the modern surface. Minecraft is like that, a stack of nights. Early builds were colder, simpler. There was less music, fewer ambient comforts. That ancient quiet echoes through the updated world. When you play now, late at night, you are sometimes hearing not just the current soundscape, but the faint ghost of earlier ones. That is the third layer of emptiness, memory embedded in code. The music plays an essential role. It arrives unpredictably, a sparse piano line, a distant synth, a melody that sounds like nostalgia for a place you have never visited. When the music arrives, it punctuates the silence. When it is absent, its absence is felt. C418, the composer, designed the tracks to be small moments of reflection, not constant emotional guidance. This unpredictability is deliberate. It builds expectation. You might walk for minutes in the dark and hear nothing, then suddenly the fragile weight of a melody. You are not soothed, you are reminded. Reminders are powerful. They make the night feel like the residue of a thought. You do not know what the thought means, but it were there before you looked. As you stand listening, the emptiness transforms into a mirror. It reflects what is inside you. If you are tired, the night will feel heavy. If you are peaceful, the night will feel wide and meditative. This is the fourth layer, the night as a psychological mirror. Procedural worlds like Minecraft are curious for this reason. They are neutral engines that become meaningful in the act of being observed. The algorithm is indifferent, the observer is not. When you play, you bring memories, moods, and associations. The world hands those back as atmosphere. Two people can sit in the same square of grass and feel completely different nights. One will describe the scene as tranquil. The other will call it empty. There is a community of players and creators who study these differences. They set up experiments. One person stands in a village at 2 a.m. game time while another watches from a distance. They count heartbeats between ambient loops. They record whether a music cue plays. Sometimes results vary. Sometimes the same seed behaves slightly differently under different clients or mods. Those variances feed speculation. Speculation is its own comfort. It allows the night to be a puzzle. Perhaps the night grows quieter the longer a player remains in a world. Perhaps the game has hidden timers that dim the soundscape over extended play sessions. Many of these ideas are unlikely at the technical level. Minecraft does not know your real-world bedtime. But the speculation persists because it gives the emptiness agency, not a bug, but a will. And that is seductive. To imagine the world as intentional, even when it is not, makes the night feel alive in a new and disquieting way. There is also a form of digital afterlife to consider. Every world you make is a file tucked away on a drive. Millions of worlds exist as dusty archives on hard disks, forgotten saves, half-finished houses, farms never harvested again. They sleep in binary. That idea, that the night of your game could be, in some way, an echo of thousands of other abandoned nights, has a melancholic beauty. If every abandoned save leaves a trace in community consciousness, then the night is a superposition of all those weights. It becomes heavier, layered with the melancholy of what was left undone. This is speculative, poetic, and perhaps not provable, but it explains the deep, human sense of absence that many players report. Designers sometimes speak of negative presence. It is the idea that absence can add emotional weight. Sculptors carve notches into marble not for the space they remove but for the shadow they create. Similarly, game designers can craft emptiness into their work intentionally. When you enter a dark field with nothing in it, the emptiness itself becomes an object. What do you do with an empty field? You notice it. You think in it. The night in Minecraft acts like negative presence. By removing cues, by limiting interactions, it creates a place to think. Those quiet pockets become invitation to be introspective, which can be uplifting or discomforting depending on what you bring. There are small, safe experiments you can run to feel this more clearly. Go into a plain field at night with no music, no other players, no mods. Stand still. Close your eyes for a few seconds. Listen to the ambient loop. Count the beats between sounds. Notice how your attention sharpens. Notice how your brain supplies motion that is not there. You will find the emptiness becoming a companion. It is a simple experiment, but it teaches the central mechanic. Our minds complete the world for us. The emptiness also interacts with the mechanics of survival. You light torches and build walls so that you may survive the night. Those rituals are comforting and performative. They are acts of order placed against a quiet world. Yet even with a fortress lit and stocked with food, the night can still feel hollow. Why? Because the emptiness is not only about danger. It is about space without purpose. Torches keep mobs away. They do not fill the silence. Light gives you safety, not company. That quiet gap between safety and solitude is a space where the game shows kindness as well as melancholy. You realize that the emptiness is not inherently hostile. The world is not trying to trick you. It is offering you quiet. Some players call it meditative. Others call it a small existential ache. Both reactions are valid. Both are what the design intends to produce: a landscape of feelings rather than simple thrills. If you record your nights and watch them later, another interesting thing happens. You notice the subtler design choices, how only certain sounds trigger in particular locations, how music appears when you turn your attention inward, how footsteps echo differently across biomes. When you watch the recording, the memory of the silence becomes more concrete. You begin to see patterns. You can sometimes even predict when the music will play. But prediction does not reduce the emptiness. If anything, it sharpens it. You begin to anticipate the pause between cues. You start to hear the silence like a held note in music. Community storytellers have used this structure for content. They create slow, exploratory videos that lean into emptiness rather than trying to fill it. They walk across plains at midnight. They stop at village windows. They comment only when the music changes. Those videos become popular, not because they are exciting, but because millions of viewers find comfort in shared quiet. It is a paradox, silence as social glue. We gather to witness absence together. We find company in mutual attention to a lack. There are myths in the community, too. Stories about seeds that always feel emptier, or discs that change the mood, or old servers that host nights thicker than usual. These myths persist because they tell a story that resonates. The idea that some places in the game carry more memory than others. Myths are not data, but they point to a truth. Humans crave meaning, and emptiness is fertile ground for meaning-making. Another angle worth considering is the relationship between real-world time and in-game night. Playing at 3 a.m. in the morning while the world outside your window is dark magnifies the effect. You are awake in the real world and in the game, and the overlap doubles the quiet. Real-world fatigue, late-night thoughts, and low lighting all amplify the game's emptiness. It is easy to forget that our bodies are part of the environment influencing how the game feels. Your heart rate, your room temperature, your own memories, all color the night. The emptiness is as much an external design as an internal state. Because of this interplay, some creators have suggested practical rituals to enjoy the night rather than fear it. Make tea. Dim the real-world lights. Use headphones. Slow your movements in the game. Breathe. Let the sound design sit against your breathing. Those small acts make the night a conscious experience, almost a guided meditation. They transform emptiness from threat into a space for reflection. It becomes a practice rather than a puzzle. And yet, the emptiness still entertains the idea of being watched. Even when you know that the mechanics are simple, you sometimes imagine a presence beyond the game rules. Signs appear in community lore, torches that go out in sequence, hoppers that refill themselves, inventory flashes that viewers decode into links. Most of these accounts are explainable: human error, mod interference, deliberate ARGs. But the rumor itself matters. Rumors make the night more porous. They seed the imagination with narratives that extend the emptiness into story. A flicker of a rumor will sometimes shift your entire experience of the night, even if your rational mind knows better. Architects of interactive narrative study this phenomenon extensively. They know that giving players a reason to wonder extends attention. Mystery retains viewership. But importantly, the kind of mystery that works with emptiness does not demand resolution. It demands a prolonged body of attention. It rewards slow noticing rather than quick answers. That is why a long, quiet video of night in Minecraft can be more compelling than 10 short, action-packed clips. The emptiness itself is the hook. Let's return to a practical observation: the villagers. They do not speak. They have a cadence of movement that is minimal and repetitive. Imitating domestic life in such small gestures makes their absence at night more poignant. A closed door is not just a barrier, it is a statement that something is happening behind it, and that you are not part of it. In art, absence often symbolizes longing. In Minecraft, absence becomes a living metaphor for human solitude. There are also technical curiosities that some players have noticed. On legacy saves, nights sometimes feel different. On private servers with long uptimes, the ambient layering sometimes evolves. Differences in client settings and mods alter the micro-silences, and can change the emotional texture of the night. These facts suggest that while much of the emptiness is psychological, some of it is contingent, dependent on the environment you build around the game. If you want to study this more deeply, try comparing nights across different contexts. Play the same seed on two machines with different sound settings. Play on an older version of the game. Record both sessions, then watch them side by side. You will begin to see how small technical changes, like audio buffer sizes or music event frequencies, shift the atmosphere. Those differences are subtle but real. They demonstrate that emptiness is both constructed and perceived. As we near the end of this long night, consider the sunrise. Dawn arrives slowly and absolutely. Shadows retreat. Color returns. Sound resumes its ordinary pattern. When daylight comes, you feel relief and a kind of gladness at the return of company. Yet there is often a twinge of loss. You miss the quiet you had been living in. The emptiness, though it had been hollow, had been honest. It did not demand anything of you other than presence. And when the world fills again, its gentleness can feel like noise. Maybe that is the lesson of Minecraft's night. Not to frighten, but to give you a space to be awake in a gentle way. The emptiness is not a void to be filled, it is a room to sit in. It makes you notice details, it sharpens attention, it invites reflection. It lets you feel small and, in that smallness, unexpectedly human. So when the sun falls next time, don't rush to build more torches. Step outside. Breathe. Listen. Count the gaps. Let your mind supply the motion. If you feel lonely, acknowledge it. If you feel calm, rest in it. The night will not break if you look. It will become what you allow it to be. The night in Minecraft feels so empty because it is designed to leave space for the game's history, for your memories, and for your imagination. It is empty so it can hold your thoughts. It is quiet so it can reflect your breathing. It is honest in its lack of fuss, and because of that, it may be the closest thing to a soul this blocky world ever reveals. When the dawn comes, you will rebuild, plant, harvest, and floor the rooms with furniture. You will crowd the world with purpose and community. And you will return to the night again, sooner or later. You will find the emptiness waiting, patient and familiar. And perhaps you will greet it like an old friend. For now, hold the feeling. Let the silence be small and human. Lean into the quiet and remember that the emptiness is both a question and an answer. A space where the game lets you be yourself, unadorned. The night is empty. And in that emptiness, you are quietly alive. Yet there is often a twinge of loss. You miss the quiet you had been living in. The emptiness, though it had been hollow, had been honest. It did not demand anything of you other than presence. And when the world fills again, its gentleness can feel like noise. Maybe that is the lesson of Minecraft's night. Not to frighten, but to give you a space to be awake in a gentle way. The emptiness is not a void to be filled, it is a room to sit in. It makes you notice details, it sharpens attention, it invites reflection. It lets you feel small and, in that smallness, unexpectedly human. So when the sun falls next time, don't rush to build more torches. Step outside. Breathe. Listen. Count the gaps. Let your mind supply the motion. If you feel lonely, acknowledge it. If you feel calm, rest in it. The night will not break if you look. It will become what you allow it to be. The night in Minecraft feels so empty because it is designed to leave space for the game's history, for your memories, and for your imagination. It is empty so it can hold your thoughts. It is quiet so it can reflect your breathing. It is honest in its lack of fuss, and because of that, it may be the closest thing to a soul this blocky world ever reveals. When the dawn comes, you will rebuild, plant, harvest, and floor the rooms with furniture. You will crowd the world with purpose and community. And you will return to the night again, sooner or later. You will find the emptiness waiting, patient and familiar. And perhaps you will greet it like an old friend. For now, hold the feeling. Let the silence be small and human. Lean into the quiet and remember that the emptiness is both a question and an answer. A space where the game lets you be yourself, unadorned. The night is empty. And in that emptiness, you are quietly alive.